Well, guys, here's that Challenger, and so, hi, sweetheart. I know, I see you, you good-looking chick. You're such a good-looking gal. I bet you the boys are just after you, 'cause you're so good-looking, huh? I know, baby. I had to shed my coveralls. She's pretty warm. This is the Challenger that we really... Okay, so here's the deal. This Challenger has got a Sissue engine in it. There's no DPF. There is an EGR. Here's your EGR cooler, obviously. Here's your EGR valve. But there's no DOC DPF assembly on these. All they have is an SCR catalyst. So, this thing was throwing a code that said maximum defrost time exceeded for DEF. So, what it was doing, here's how this system works, okay? There's a valve, and as you can see, we got a ball valve here that I'm going to fix this while I'm here. There's a heat valve. It's right up here. Okay, and it's got a, see this coolant line? This is coolant. And this heat valve actually cools the, or preheats the water in the system before it goes through the sending unit. So, the troubleshooting on this thing is so vague, it's unbelievable, guys. I mean, it basically tells you, it basically just tells you to change parts. That's what it tells you to do. It doesn't tell you how to test anything. But see, that heat valve is right there. So I ordered a heat valve because it tells you in the book, change heat valve. It's like a 4-step procedure. Change heat valve. If heat valve doesn't change it, change sending unit. That's pretty much it. You know? So anyway, I went down there to put this and install this in there, this valve. And before I even put the valve in, I turned the key on, and it said that the DEF tank, and this is, keep in mind, the engine was stone cold, cold as can be. And turned the key on, and the DEF tank temperature was saying 324 degrees with nothing running. So I said, well, it's obvious now that what the problem is. And this is our DEF tank right here. This is a plastic tank. If your DEF fluid was 324 degrees, I'm pretty certain that the tank would at least be distorted. It would start melting the tank. I can't imagine, you know, at one time the DEF tank, the DEF sender was reading negative 567 at one time. So here's what we've got going on, guys. We've got to pull the DEF tank sender out, and it's underneath the cab. We have to pull the cab off this tractor to change the DEF tank sensor. Isn't that wonderful? Didn't that just make you feel all good inside? So I'm going to start the disassembly process here. These guys have got a pack rat's been in here. Man, this thing. Golly. Problem is the air seat's not working. The air seat's not working, so it's kind of holding me up here. I might have to fix the air seat to get the fucking floor mat out of it. Let's see, let's go like this maybe. Fucking air seat is really screwing me up here. This week has just been one of those weeks where it just doesn't matter what I do. it ain't gonna go right. It just ain't gonna happen. No matter what I do, I can't get nothing to work. Just like, I should have just took the whole week off. Ah. Okay. I'm the one that put that son of a bitch back in there. Ah. Jesus. Good wrestling match, man. Okay. Now this insulation. Okay. Now, we'll get a Torx bit and start pulling these out. Okay. So I got so many damn problems going on right now. Can't seem to get anything done. This damn Detroit. I got that 4270 engine out of that backhoe. I'm still waiting on them guys to get done with the cylinder head. But I was actually, I got the last rod and liner into it, and I got the right O-rings for the liners finally. And then, anyway, I flipped the block upside down. I thought, well, shit, I'll just go ahead and, all I'm waiting on is the head. I'll just go ahead and throw the balancer and the pickup tube back on it, and then I'll just stick the engine in the frame. And I can put the head on with it in the frame. And I think there's some bolts up here. And I put the balancer upside down to put it in the block, and I heard it go clunk. I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. So then I tore the balancer apart, and the bushings on one of the shafts and the balancer had spun. And then I knocked one of the bushings out of the good shaft because I thought, well, you know what, that, because the one shaft was fine. It's got a 2-shaft balancer in it. And is there another bolt in the middle or something? Oh, of course. And anyway, I tried to put that bushing out of the good shaft into the one that was bad, and it, when it spun in the bore, it wore the bore out. So I thought, well, either I'm going to have to send this off to a machine shop and have them machine this bore to where the bushing's a foot tight in it again, or I'm going to have to find another balancer. Well, I finally found one from an outfit, but that was a week ago, and I still haven't seen it. I don't know if they shipped it, or I don't know what's going on with that. So there's another thing that I've got that's a cluster right now. So we got to pull. Remember what all we got to pull here. I thought this came out of there. We'll have to get in the book, I guess, and find out. But these two plugs here got to come undone. So anyway, let me go get the book loaded up, and then I got to make sure I know what I'm doing here. Well, I don't think I had to pull that center panel off now that I went and read the book about it. Dirt out of those holes, because that was one sure way to screw up a Torx bit and a bolt. They don't have the holes cleaned out. I don't see what the big deal is, especially something like this. Just put a hex-headed bolt in there, you know? Why do you need these Torx bolts in here? I don't know. Okay, so here's all the plugs and shit we're gonna have to pull off here. I'll have to take another look at the book to make sure I'm doing the right thing there too. I think all these got to come unplugged, and then they lay down in here away from, yeah, I'm pretty certain that's what the deal is. I pull cabs off the old, well, The 765s and then the 765Bs I've worked quite a bit on, but these E's I haven't done that much to them. The 765s and the Bs had C9s in them. They were C9 Acerts. They were the same thing as they were a Hueyed engine, basically. They were like same thing as a C7 almost. And those things were absolute junk. I don't know how many of those high pressure oil pumps went out. Shot metal all into the rail. Destroyed all 6 injectors. Then you had to pull those end plugs out of the head where the rail was incorporated into, cast into the head. You had to flush that out to get all the metal out of there, so when you put it back together, you didn't destroy 6 more injectors. Okay, so I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, so yeah, I got the battery disconnect off, so obviously these two have to come off. Now, I see, is this part of that? Now they're not saying nothing about it in that book in there. You can see right here that this is bracketed to the bottom of that. I mean, that ain't gonna work. You gotta pull that off. They don't say shit in the book about that. So, go figure, huh? Okay, so let's blow these controllers. These are where all your control modules are on these Challengers. Blow the dirt out of the Allen heads on these connectors. And this one here too. Damn it. Get on there. That one. Let's get a ratchet for that one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a ratchet for this one here. I'm not gonna be able to get on that very good like that. And then, let's see. So I'll get those. I've almost got, I'll get that one there, cut these ties, and that'll be that. So I just gotta shove these down here. That way they don't hang on the cab when I'm pulling on it. Okay. So now let's go to this side. This will stay with the cab. So are these here internally, but I need to pull these off out here. What size are those? 9/16? It looks like a 10mm. Okay, so this cable right here, and look where that thing is, back in there. And it's hard to, tell you what a pain in the ass that is. They just didn't even make it to where you could even access it. Wonder if a guy... No, you can't get to the top either. What a deal. What a deal. So you got to pull that little clevis off of there. Then over here there's some bulkhead nuts. You'll have to pull them off. Okay. God, can I get in from this side maybe? Boy, not so easy. Alright, pulling cab mounts. The front two are easy to get to. But look where they put the back ones. So I had to pull these side panels off. And these Challengers, the dirt gets trapped up in here, but the old ones I don't remember being like this. I got all these side panels off on the back here, but here's this one. You ain't gonna get no impact wrench in there. The other one, I can't even feel it. I'll have to see. Yeah, like I said, you'll pull these side panels off and about 100 pounds of dirt will fall on top of you. I mean, most of the guys that are just out in the sand, out in the strawberry fields, once they pull these off, they leave them off. Because all that does, all the hard lines in there, that dirt settles in there and it gets wet and it rots all the lines out in it. You're better off leaving them off where you can clean that out. So, but the other one's got to be like in this kind of the same vicinity. There it is right there. I might have to pull this one too and get up in there with a longer extension. I probably can get that one with the impact from the bottom. This one over here, ain't no way in hell you're gonna get the impact on that. You're gonna have to do it by hand. So I got the ratchet, but the front ones weren't very tight. I mean, I didn't hardly rattle at all with my 3/4 gun to get it loose. It came right out. Both of them did. I have to get a deep socket to where I can pull the back frames off so you can get the cab mount bolts out. I wish that ratchet was a little bit longer. It'd be kind of handy. Okay, well that ain't happening. Let me get a deep weld socket. That'll bring me down here. I'll get my longer ratchet. I'm on it, I think. I think I'm on it. Pretty tight. This is where if you had another guy helping you, he could stick a bar or something in there and hold a ratchet on there. But that's not, no such thing as help. Maybe I can get it up by hand now. Now are you going to cooperate? Okay. Coming, and of course now it's going to get tough. What's all that shit there? Wow. Stick your head up that bull's ass, boy. Okay. That one definitely will go with ample amounts of copper anti-seize on it before I put that dirty bastard back in. Okay, so let's get a light. Let's clean off the 20 pounds of dirt that is on the creeper now. Let's roll in here and see if we can actually locate. Ah, that's what fell off the bottom of that cab mount. Okay, where is that one there hiding? Should be back here somewhere. Hang on. even see it. Yeah, it's up in there. Like, oh, I'll pull this plastic shield here, and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get up in there and get that one loose. Good times. It didn't make this the easiest deal, just like everything else I work on anymore. Okay, well, I'm gonna pull this other shield off, guys, and see if I can get this cab mount off over here. Okay. Oh. Well, sometimes you get into these deals here and you go, golly, I should have done something else for a living. Oh well. Well, this is one of the advantages of being a skinny little bastard. Because I don't know how a big fella would get this done without pulling the track frame off. I'm gonna see if I can wedge my skinny little ass up in here. Ah, jeez. Still don't look forward to it. Ah. Hang on, I gotta get that. Where the hell did I put this camera at? There's the mount. So there's a harness there that's kind of in the way. Wonder if I can get my impact. Get in there, Dyson Deep Light. See the dirt that's all settled in here? I might as well clean all that shit out while he's got all these panels off. But all that dirt gets wet and all these hard lines, it just rots them out. It's a terrible, terrible design. Let's see if maybe I can. I used to do this a lot easier when I was younger. Don't move as good as I used to, though. What if I get that wedged up in there? Come on, fucker. Oh yeah, it's on it. Gun. Get in there, boy. Where's your fucking problem? Showed him some tough. My socket. Damn socket off the bolt. There you go. I sure would like to get that out of there. Nana sees the piss out of that thing. Those back ones, boy, they're rustier than hell. Okay, let me see. Wedge myself out of here. Yeah, big feller, I don't think he's gonna get that out of there. I think a big feller would be getting a skinny guy to get it out of there for him, or he'd be pulling the track frame off of it to get in there. Gotta be some kind of advantage of being a runt. Saw it off, little prick. truck off. Well, now it's time to get a ladder, pull the roof array off, get the spreader bar, and so I'm going to try to lift up on it a little bit and maybe try to move it back a little bit to get, I got to get the torch or so. I don't know what to do here actually. Trying to think this through. This hose needs to come off. It won't come loose here. So I was thinking I could get it back a little bit to get in there, maybe get torch on it or something, I don't know. They're telling you to take the heater hoses and stuff off back here, but I don't understand that. I think that evaporator and all that stuff comes up with the cab. So why take all that shit off, you know? You know, all that stuff should stay. I think that's, yeah, that's all part of the cab. So to me, just leave them on back here, and I think they'll come up with the cab back here. I think the better way to do it is to pull them off from the front like I did. So I think that's a better way anyway. I'm gonna get this roof array off. Well, they've changed these things, so we got to figure out what we're going to do here. These newer ones are different. So, I guess pull this one off here. I'll have to go corner to corner or something in it. Or I could put 4 of them on there and 4 straps. I got 2 of them smaller lifting eyes with me though. I'd have to go corner to corner. Well, let me see what the hell I'm gonna do here. They used to, you know, put right here where these holes are, that's where, you know, they're not even a hole there now, but they used to put a 5/8 bolt there, and you just put your spreader bar right in the middle here, and you just pick them up right there. But no, they had to change them. It's completely different what it used to be. And here's another thing the book doesn't say anything about. These mirrors, this whole mirror assembly has to come off of there because it's attached here. The fenders stay here, and the cab, see, the cab is here, but these mirrors come down and attach here and here, and they don't say shit about it. So I got to take this bolt loose here. So we'll take those little ones first off there. I got these unplugged. What about the other side? And these are separate. These are mounted out here, so that's okay. We just got to get that one set of mirror off. I mean, that book, I'll tell you what, it's almost useless having it. So what are those up there? Torx bits. Bits. Hey, bits. Is it a 40 or 45? You know what? My impact's in the cab still. I'm just lifting a little bit at a time, you know, and I got to make sure that I don't tear a bunch of shit up. I guess I better get all my tools out of here anyway. Yeah, there's not very many steps in the book to pull the cab on this thing, and because the reason there's not very many steps is because they left half of them out. The old Case International books, those were the ones to have. I mean, they told you everything, and so I just realized that I wasted my time bringing the impact wrench up here. That's going to be by hand with a ratchet, because you're not going to get it in here. Eat it that one or eat it that one. It's T40. I'm going to get a ratchet. What am I thinking? What am I? I'm losing my mind here, guys. No, I need to be up here. What the hell am I thinking? That's holds the windowsill in. You dummy. You damn dummy. What's the matter with your brain? You guys ever heard of that guy used to make them prank phone calls, Roy D. Mercer? He calls up this guy and says, my wife got one of them migraine headaches. A migraine. I thought that was funnier than shit, a migraine. Watch out for them migraines. I used to listen to him all the time. It's funnier now. Get in there now, like I said. Okay. Yeah. And then, okay, where is the socket? Yeah, definitely not a very thorough book, I'll tell you that. You wonder when they're rebuilding transmissions and engines in their book, they leave half those steps out too? Like I was saying, the old, like 7120, the old Case International books, I mean, were so, I mean, a third grader could go tear an engine down or tear a power shift transmission down and rebuild it. That looks like a mighty heavy mirror you got there, boy. You can see that whacking me right on the fucking head. What the hell's here? Okay. Why don't you just tear the whole damn tractor apart? Oh, I will. Why don't I do that? Right near the bolt right there. Ow. Washer fell off here somewhere, and I don't see it. There it is, right there. Under that there impact wrench. Right there. I called up there. I used to buy those little lifting eyes that you can thread in. I used to buy them from the construction site of John Deere all the time. I got a new guy working there. I guess you can't be too hard on him. He's just starting. But I said, I need a lifting eye for a 5/8 lifting eye. That's what I told him. He goes, well, what's it go on? I said, anything I want. Well, what's that? I said, anything I want. That's what it goes on. I'm not following you. I said, it's a lifting eye. It can go on anything. It's not particular to one rig. Oh. You ain't never heard of a lifting eye? Huh. Alright, let's try it again a little more. Alright, so I'm gonna keep pulling on it. I don't know where to put this camera. Like that, I guess. Squeaking on something. What is that? Up against the foot a little bit. There ain't a whole lot I can do about it. Now, Nice and easy, nice and easy. Oh. Okay. Shit everywhere now. Okay, here's our DEF tank sending unit right here. What the hell's that plastic shit? Oh, it's part of this. So I'll blow this off. And is it just me, or did they make this DEF tank all part of the fuel tank? So if your DEF tank goes bad, you have to pull this whole thing out of here. Is that what that is, or is that separate? Now maybe it's separate. This whole thing here is the DEF tank, okay. This is the fuel tank, okay. I was about ready to really cuss these dumb bastards. I thought, what the hell would you ever do something like that for? So, well, I'm gonna go home. It's about 7 p.m. I'm gonna get this out of there. I'm not gonna get this done. I had to cut this the low side line, AC line. I couldn't get it loose. You can't get in there to get it off. Well guys, it's the next morning, Saturday morning. Change this DEF tank sender. So this valve here leaks. You can see where it leaks down here on the bell housing, this water valve. I'm gonna order one of those Monday morning as well, because that's just a problem, you know. You're gonna run it low on coolant, you know they are, because they're operators, you know. Okay. Don't see any bolts or anything holding it down. Does it just twist and come out of there? Or and I got the book, but you know how that book is. It don't tell you very much. Quick connect fittings, and they're not so quick usually. Is there a tab on the bottom too, or just the top? Of course, there's one on the top and the bottom that you can't get your fingers on. Okay, so rather than opening up the book and digging that out, maybe I can figure out I want to try to keep this in the box. I don't want any dirt or anything getting in here because this all this def quality stuff and all this shit is so sensitive that you don't need anything being contaminated if at all possible. So yeah, they got a little sock on the end of that for screening the filter. You can see the coolant comes in, goes around this coil, and that heat valve that I was showing you preheats this loop here. And then should be a temperature sensor somehow. It's got a float on it for the level. Where's the temperature sensor located? What's the rubber band? That rubber band's holding the seal on there. How does that come out of there? I don't really see a twist lock on it. It just looks like it maybe just presses down into the tank. Really? That's kind of interesting. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. Oops, this is getting that wrong. Okay, so let's blow a little bit more stuff off this. Let me get these lines, get this shit out of them. Now, does that other one have that bolt in there? I didn't even pay attention to that. Yes, it does. I don't know. Yep, it locks in there. Okay. Okay, we'll just throw this one down. I ain't too worried about it. It's gotta be like right around in there. Can't really see that seal where it's at. How do you know it's in the correct spot? It doesn't really have a real good recess to sit in. I think I'm gonna pull it back out. Maybe, I wonder if I should pull it out and grease that seal and make sure that seal stays in that recess. God, you'd hate to do all this work and that dirty bastard leak on you because the seal is not quite in the recess where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? There's a recess up there. I'm gonna get a bunch of grease and stick that seal up to the sender. So let me get some grease and do that. I've got the seal stuck to that now. God, you hate that. This shit makes me so damn nervous. See, that seal is trying to push its way out right now. I see it right there. See, it's trying to push its way out of there as I twist it. I don't have, what did I do with my damn knife? I don't like this whole setup, to be honest with you. I'm not really too keen on this whole damn setup here. Make sure that damn seal stays in there where it's supposed to. That son of a bitch is not wanting to twist and go back in there. You know, it's just one of them deals. It's all plastic, you know. So you're just scared to death. You start reefing on that thing, trying to get it to lock back in there, twist in there, you're gonna destroy it. Okay, I think I got it. Another wonderful design. Yes, wonderful. Looking at everything, make sure. Let me get a light and shine in the gap there. I just want to make sure that my damn seal is in the right spot. Okay, I'm pretty certain we got it, so let's pull that one off. Pull that one off. I'll leave these two on for the water until I get ready to put that back together. Let's see, I need two hands here. I got a problem here. My air hose is underneath all these. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Lock on there. Okay. Make sure it's plugged in. That might be a good idea. Okay. I guess that can only be plugged in one way. Well, okay, so the next thing I gotta do, we got that changed. So these air conditioning lines are notorious, especially on the low side of the system, because they sweat. The manufacturer never puts anti-seize on anything. So this line here, I had to cut it to get the cab off. This line here is seized. It's seized to this fitting right here. So and the location of it makes it very, very difficult to get a wrench, because remember, your cab's right here and you're trying to get two wrenches, one to hold this one and one to get this one loose. You have no access to it. So if it's galled and seized to this line, you're going to have a hell of a time. Okay, so 1 1/16", and like I heated it too yesterday trying to get it off. I finally said, well, we'll just cut it. I have to get another line. That's all we can do. I can't get to it. It's like a 7/8 and 1 1/16". what I do is I put copper anti-seize on the threads before I go back together with them, and then they come off the next time. Trouble. I was trying to get my air hammer in there yesterday and vibrate on it, trying to get it loose, and I tried all that before I got the torch out and heated it. And then I still couldn't get it loose, so I couldn't hold it. It was twisting the whole tube because I couldn't get the wrench on this flat here right. There it is. We saved the threads on that. And I'm sure that O-ring is okay. I have a hose press with AC fittings, but I don't know what that other end looks like. It'd be nice if I could just make a hose and get that figured out. So, it's 3/4 inch suction line, low side line. So that's going to be this line right here you see sticking out from underneath the cab. I'll have to lift the cab back up with the crane, but it's going back here, which means we got to pull this. We got to pull this cover off right here. Well, no, we don't. I don't think we need to pull this cover off. You know, the book tells you to take the lines loose right here. Why would you take the lines loose right here when the lines are fastened to the bottom of the cab with these brackets? You know, that book is so screwed up. Yeah, but it does. You see where the pack rats have been chewing on the heater hoses? Right here. They've had pack rats. If that thing's been down in Chastain, they're just going to get pack rats in it every damn time. Let's see here. This one. This one's actually going to come loose. Actually have, these are just straight, no special. This isn't really very special stuff, so I might have this stuff in here and I can just make a hose. They're both the same size on each end, it appears. I think. Let me go get that other fitting that I put in the box. I think they're the same size on each end. One's just got a different, one's got a female, and one's got a male. But the hose itself, see what I'm saying? The male part of the nipple here is the same size. Yeah. Yep. I just need a male and a female. I'm gonna look and see what I got for fittings in there. I might be able to make a hose for this thing and do as much as I can to get it together. So what they're doing here, this is a number 10 ACA 10 FTONS. Basically it's a 1010, number 10 hose, number 10 female. What they're using is a 5/8. They're using, hi baby, how are you? They're using 5/8 hose on, or 5/8 ends with 3/4 inch hose, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I mean, well, I don't understand these manufacturers. It doesn't matter how big your hose is. If you're necking it down to 5/8 anyway to go in there, why don't you just put 5/8 all the way across? You're not gaining anything because you're necking it down on each end anyway. So I got to call up there. I don't have any 5/8 AC line. I got to either get this set up or 5/8 all the way across. One of the two. Okay, well, the only outfit in Klamath Falls that is open today that sells Gates fittings and hoses, and you know, they try, they really do. I can't be too hard on them. They got a bunch of kids working in there. At least they're working. today's society, at least, you know, at least they're working. you got to give them that. But all the old guys that used to be in that place that actually knew something, they're gone. And I'm trying to explain to them what a 3/4 inch Polar Seal AC hose is and a fitting is. I actually gave them the part numbers for the, because I got all the part numbers on my rack on there, and I gave them the part numbers for that, but I couldn't find a part number because this isn't Gates hose, so this part number here doesn't do me any good. I might have been able to give it to them. Maybe they could have crossed it. I didn't think about that. But anyway, they got the hose, but they don't have either fitting. The fittings will be here Tuesday morning, and then I can just make this hose and put it on. I kind of really was hoping that they had those fittings, and I could have made that hose today and craned that cab back on, and I could have got this thing done and out the door. But it's another thing I've got torn apart that I can't get the damn parts for. It's been quite a go around here lately. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at with this whole debacle. As soon as I get some fittings and some hose, and we'll make an AC line, because we can't really, I mean, the way that AC line runs underneath that cab, I mean, it would be probably, I don't know how you'd change that line. How would you change those lines underneath that cab like that? You know, I don't know. These engineers, here I am bitching about engineers again. It just seems like some really brain dead people to me.